All right, guys. Good morning. How you guys doing? Welcome to another live stream. Welcome to Monday. We're already getting some craziness. Sorry, my hair. I'm getting a haircut tomorrow. I'm a mess. I need a haircut. I need to clean this mop up off my head. Good morning, guys. So, yeah, just a lot of volatility this morning. We got the downside last week. Technicals made sense, I will definitely say. A lot of rejections came in, never made that higher high on the overall market. Broke down those key Nasdaq levels, and then we just got that ugly day on Friday. So we got that downside on Friday, and we're looking at some very key levels today, and we already have some crazy upside this morning. Due to just, the continued news coming out of this Ukrainian and Russian conflict. So there's just a lot of stuff out there right now that's going to move these markets, which is very dangerous if you're really trading this short term. So you just got to be really careful during these high impact areas of the market. There's so much that can affect and move the market today. There's any updates on this Ukrainian conflict with Russia. There's a Fed meeting today that they, surprisingly put on. This was just a quick meeting, a closed door meeting that they called for. That is today at 11:30 Eastern. And then there's just earnings. There's earnings going on. There's just a lot of stuff that you have to be aware of as you enter this market. And that is a good reason to be very careful here, guys. So early morning, it looked like we were going to get some ugly downside. Now I'm watching the Nasdaq and it's shooting straight up. So there's just it's a always changing market right now. So definitely want to be very careful this week. Just coming into Monday. My plan for this week. I like to try to prepare myself, get myself ready for the upcoming week. And today I definitely need to be careful. I need to be cautious. I need to make sure I know what's going on in this market. So that is definitely, what my plan is here today. I'm definitely not going to try to catch, everything I see today. So let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about the technicals. Let's talk about some economic news that's going on, earnings calendar, and just a lot of stuff that we need to be aware of as you approach this market. So first of all, just to give you guys a quick update, this is what's going on with the Fed this morning. So if you weren't aware, this was a closed board meeting on February 14th. This was called on, I don't know if it was Thursday or if it was on Friday. Last update was February 10th. I don't believe that came out on February 10th, though. That was, when was that? February 10th was on Thursday of, it was Thursday. Okay. Yeah, that is when they called this. So, February 10th, they came out and said that they are going to it's anticipating that a closed meeting of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve at 11:30 a.m. on Monday, February 14th. So it says the review and determination by the Board of Governors of the advance and discount rates to be charged by the Federal Reserve. So that's basically just saying interest rates. So this is today. This was not, originally planned, and we're going to have to see what comes out of this. I am not quite sure when this will be, what they talk about will be released. If I believe when they say closed meeting, they are not going to be releasing what they're talking about, right at 11:30. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. But that is something we need to be aware of, guys. And this could definitely cause volatility today. So be careful of this today. Make sure you are aware that this is going on. So that's the first thing. The next thing is if we go to 8:30, you got a lot of this James Bullard guy in the news recently. So you have him talking a lot about interest rates. He is someone that is definitely wanting to see interest rates increase quicker. He will be interviewed at 8:30 today, which could also have a little bit of volatility on the market. It's another thing we need to watch out for. And then on top of that, all of this economic news this week, FOMC minutes on Wednesday, which is going to be very important. I'm assuming this is when they're gonna release what they talk about today. That is my assumption. There on Wednesday. Initial jobless claims Thursday. A lot of Thursday stuff, and then your normal Friday. So that's another thing we need to be aware of, right? More economic news to keep on watch and to not lose sight of. And then on top of that, you have earnings calendar, right? On top of all that, now you have earnings calendar, right? So this week, Avis Budget, Advanced Auto Parts, nothing too much today after hours. Before open tomorrow, Marriott, that'll help. That'll sort of affect the travel sector. Roblox, Upstart, Airbnb, those are some big ones that are very interesting. Roblox, Upstart, Airbnb, that is Tuesday after close. Shopify, that's pretty big. Before open Wednesday. Nvidia, that's massive. That's going to be very important. Palantir, Walmart, Fiverr, Roku, Dropbox, Shake Shack. There's some ones that Redfin, real estate. Friday, DraftKings, John Deere. So a lot of stuff here on the earnings calendar that we also need to be aware of. So that's sort of the economic and earnings calendar stuff that I think everyone should know about, just to make sure we are aware of that stuff. And then we also have the continued news that will probably come out today about Russia and Ukraine tensions. Do they invade? Do they not invade? What's the breaking news? And that is going to move the market. So, with all that said, we will try to navigate through that and be as careful as we can. I would just expect volatility. That's really what I would do. I would not trust anything for too long of a period today. I would not trust swing trades. I would scalp if you'd like. Find some momentum that you like to trade. If it's not that, be very careful holding anything for a long period of time, because I'm not quite sure how this volatility affects the market. I don't think anyone is. And we just need to focus on risk management during these times in the market. That's my goal. And I think that would be a smart idea for everyone. So Google, we'll talk about Google today. Google had a very nice move on the upside on earnings and gave the entire move back. So we'll take a look at Google. I think that's very interesting. A stock that had fantastic earnings, pulling back, I think it's right back where it was before earnings. So you basically just gave back the entire earnings move. Maybe this is an opportunity. Obviously, the market's going to need to get in a better area for me to trust it. But that is something I'll be watching. Tesla back to 800. Tesla broke down key levels yesterday or on Friday. Definitely going to watch this thing to see if it wants to creep back to 800. Just make $1 better than, or just don't try to make anything today. Guys, that's something that's very, very important. You do not need to trade every day. I did not trade on Friday. It actually felt quite nice. I did not want to trade in the volatility that we have been seeing on Friday. It was a day of a lot of, headline news coming out about Ukrainian war, about, Federal Reserve, and I just wanted to stay out of it. I'd rather go into my weekend without making anything or losing anything on Friday, enjoy the weekend, than get myself stuck in a very crazy market. Now, of course, in hindsight, it looks very easy Friday to just play some put options, and I do have some QQQ puts in my long-term portfolio as a hedge to my long-term, so that was nice. But I wish I would have traded Friday to the downside. But I said to myself Friday morning that I do not want to get, I don't want to put myself through any of this volatility today. I want to enjoy my day, and I want to watch, and I want to learn, and I want to see what happens. And it felt very nice. So if you guys do not want to get yourself involved in some of this volatility, then it might not be a bad idea to just sit out and sort of watch and learn. So Tesla back to 800, Apple back at support. I think this is this 166 level on Apple. Yeah, no, 168. It's sort of sitting at this 168 level on Apple. So that's a big level there on 168. So I'm going to watch that. Boeing You guys know we've been watching Boeing on that rejection. It looks like it's starting. So we have been starting to see that rejection come in. So Friday was the first day of that potential rejection on the Boeing channel. So that could be very interesting. I want to make sure we keep an eye on that. Coinbase came back up into that very important rejection zone. You guys can see right here. Look at that. Just a perfect rejection. We'll talk about that. Very cool. I don't know if you guys saw that Coinbase commercial for Super Bowl. That was pretty cool. I thought that was pretty creative. LMT, Lockheed Martin. You guys, I don't know if you guys saw this, but on Friday, Lockheed Martin and a few other defensive stocks went straight up off of this Ukrainian and Russian conflict news. So we'll definitely want to keep an eye on LMT today if you are looking to trade maybe some of that momentum. See if LMT continues again. That was a very nice move on Friday. So we'll take a look at that. A stock that I really like that could outperform in this market is Pepsi. I know it's a very strange name to say that it could outperform. Pepsi's coming back to a very nice level. The XLP sector as a whole has been, pretty resilient. So I figured I'd throw this in here today. I think Pepsi's a pretty good watch. I know a lot of the guys in the chat have been watching this, and I do like the setup that it's starting to form. DFEN is a defensive ETF. You could definitely keep an eye on that. But Pepsi, gonna keep an eye on that one. I want to show you guys that today. And then finally, MU. I don't know if you guys have noticed MU, but this thing has been outperforming like crazy. Micron, big push, not really much of a pullback on Friday, to be quite honest. I mean, it did pull back, but nothing crazy. I want to show you guys the daily chart on Micron. It's up about $2 a share in the pre-market, and this thing has been pretty strong lately. So I want to show you guys this. It's just about, what is it? It's like 4% off all-time highs. So Micron, big outperformance lately. Figured I'd show it to you guys today. After all that, we'll go over what the members want to look at. And if we have any time left, we'll just sort of run through some stocks, just some popular names, if we have time, of course. So let's not waste any time. Let's jump into it. All right, guys. So here's the 4-hour chart. And, this is sort of what broke down yesterday. So we'll get a quick update last week. So what did we do last week, right? We made a lower high. That's the first thing that's very important, right? We had this previous resistance or previous support turned into resistance, and last week we could not get back into that level. So that was not a good sign that we did not get into this level. We failed here, and that is a very bad sign. What does that mean? That's a lower high. So we were talking about on Friday, hey, we need to hold this 14,500 area. If we do not hold this area, this is going to get a little nasty. And that's sort of what happened, right? We gave up this level. We gave up this previous resistance into support. And as soon as that level, sort of gave up, said, hey, I'm done. I'm not holding anymore. That's it. I can't hold here any longer. Once that sort of wall gave up, and you guys saw what happened on Friday, right? So just a key level breakdown on Friday. Very nice downside. Congrats anyone that took advantage of that. That was a good trading day, right? When I talk a lot about good trading days on this channel. Like, stay away from the chop. Take advantage of good trading days. Friday was definitely a good trading day to the downside, without a doubt. You guys see like this quick acceleration to the downside, sort of looks like this quick acceleration to the upside back in the late half of January. That was nice. I mean, that was consistent. At least you got consistent downside on Friday where you could actually take advantage of it. Like, look at this. So that was Friday's price action. So that was nice. I mean, you definitely had that downside, and you can see where it accelerated, right? Look at where that downside accelerated on Friday. So you see this 14,500 area that we have marked out here on the 4-hour chart. You can see right here. See that 14.5 area that we have marked out. If we go to the 1-minute chart, you're going to see, look at where this really started to accelerate. Right after we gave up that key level, boom. Right after we gave up that key level, it was just a, sort of a big selling moment. Just sellers very much took over there. As soon as we broke under, that selling really picked up. You can see the volume picked up, the downside, the downside velocity definitely picked up, and that's just a good little, thing to look at if you're just learning the market. If you're just sort of, for the first time seeing what's going on, you can clearly see, we tried to hold this level early morning, we tried to hold it intraday, and as soon as that market finally said, hey, I can't hold you up anymore, that's it. You can see the velocity that we came down with. So just a very nice key level breakdown on Friday. Congrats anyone that took this. This was very, very sweet downside. So today, what's the next level that we need to watch? We're sort of in a no man's land right now. I got to be honest. I don't see there being much support down here. I can't imagine there being much support down here until around 14,000. 14,000 or maybe around 13,950. There really is not much down here. If this is the little quadruple bottom that we held back in January. Do we need to come back to that? I would feel a little bit more comfortable on a bounce if we did come back to that. So you can see right now, we are not quite back to there. If I zoom in here on the hourly chart, here's the hourly, guys. So here's the hourly on the Nasdaq. You can see very consistent little quadruple bottom back here in late January, and we are not quite bouncing off that. We are bouncing a little bit above it. So do we need to see this move? Do we need to get back into that 14, below 14,000? We'll see. We didn't quite get back to there. So that is something I'm definitely going to be concerned of. This little area right here. I would have rather seen us come down and test this 13,920 area, this big level of support. So that's something I'm watching. I'm going to be a little bit careful today. I'm definitely not trusting any of these really upside moves, like this morning bounce we're seeing. I think this is because of a headline off of, maybe there's not going to be an invasion in Russia. I believe that's what this is moving off of. That's not something I'm going to trade this market off of. Definitely not. I'm going to protect my money here. So a little bit of upside this morning. Watch this 13,926, guys. If we give up these levels today, guys, like it's not even there, that's going to be ugly stuff. We're not going to be very happy tomorrow. I can guarantee you that. Unless, of course, you're playing to the downside. But for anyone with a long-term portfolio, it's going to be a little bit of a painful day. If we give up these lows, guys. If we give up these lows, that is new lows on this market. That is a little bit dangerous there. So we definitely want to watch this 13,926. Long-term portfolios are going to be a little bit ugly there if that happens. But, that's what we sign up for when we look for the long-term time horizon. That's what we sign up for. So you got to be comfortable with that. 13,926 today, guys. Right? Not exactly 926, but it's right in that area, right? Anywhere between 13,900 and 13,950, right in that zone. That's the level to watch. If by some chance we get a push into this 14.5, which I think is very unexpected, but if by some chance we get that push, I would expect resistance there. So here's your new range, guys. What's the new range? The new range is exactly the range that we were in about a month ago, right? We are back within the exact same range we were within just about a month ago. Right? The exact same range. So, very, very interesting. We are back within the channel, and that is exactly what I'm watching again. So, it's like we never left. So here's the ES. You guys can see, same exact sort of setup. We did not break above a higher high. We made a double top there on the ES. Very clean double top. We broke below the key level. You guys can see previous resistance turns into support, and then boom, did not hold the support. And what are we starting to do this morning? We are starting to see that actually turn into resistance. If we zoom in here, right there. So boom, right there, previous support potentially turning into resistance, and you can see that is why we started to maybe dip a little bit more today. So today, if you're watching the ES, I would say the big level would be to get above this 44.40, 44.30, right in this area. I would be very surprised, but that is possible if the market is strong. Maybe we get this push through 44.40. That is going to be pretty massive if we do. Doubtful, because I would assume that it comes into some really nasty resistance, because this was a very big key level before. You can see right here. Right, look at that. So it would be pretty, I think it would be pretty tough to see us get through this 44.40 or 444 on the SPY ETF. But that is a level I would watch. We can see if we go to the 4-hour chart that we are right within the exact same channel we were in the past. So we're right back like we never left, right here. So here's our new channel, guys. 444 on the SPY, 44.40 on the ES, down to 4,300. That's our 140 point range now, right here, right? So we're right back in that channel. So let's see what happens in this channel. YM. So the YM, the Dow, it is, you guys remember this zone we had, right? 34.7. We got below it, tried to bounce back above it, and now look at what it's doing. It's turning into resistance. So previous support turning into resistance. That's pretty textbook stuff. Look at this. So you have previous resistance, 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 support, and resistance. So when previous support or previous resistance turns into support and then it turns back into resistance, you guys know that this is a very key level, right? The market's making a ton of decisions over this level right here on the Dow, 34,700. If we reject off this, then we're just right back in the same channel like every other index. I don't really need to go over this again. You guys can see it. I don't need to spoon feed this. 34.7 to 33.6. It's the exact same channel we were in January. So what happens in this channel? Is it more of the same? That's very possible. Is it more of this? Very possible. So that's what we need to watch. This is the channel we need to watch. 34.7 on the Dow to 33,500, 33,600. That's at about a, what is that? That's about a little bit less than, it's about 1,000 point range on the Dow. About 1,000 point range on the Dow. Okay? And then finally, the Russell. The Russell pushed into 2,100, which was actually very nice. Had a little bit of outperformance on Friday. We had Thursday afternoon, Friday, and a little bit of outperformance today. Most of the outperformance came early week on the Russell, and it got into that 2,100. The 2,100 level is just a massive, massive, massive resistance level that I do not expect this to get over unless we have some insane strength on the overall market. Support. Support, that is not going to be an easy level to get through by any means. So I would not expect the Russell to get through 2,100 very easily, guys. So just be careful there. If you're looking at small cap stocks, you need to get over this 2,100. That is going to be a very difficult level. There are 2,100. I would not expect it to get through. So just be careful here. I know we're getting a little push. But I think the only way I would feel somewhat confident on this is if we can prove that we get through 2,100. That would be what I'm watching. All right, guys. So that is those are the futures today. You can see almost every index is just right back within the range we were in between, what is this? This is the 24th and the 28th of January. We are back at the exact same levels on the Nasdaq, on the ES, and on the YM. We are in that range from the 24th and the 28th of January. So let's keep an eye on that range again. That is what I would be. Watching. All right, guys. Google. So Google, we know it had very good earnings, very good numbers. And we got that earnings move right around here. We got that big earnings move. Now, what did it do? It rejected all-time highs, and it came all the way back down. Now, I did not expect it to come all the way back down. I was thinking maybe it would hold around here, around this 2,800 area. I was looking for a trade that day and just it never worked. So, you know, it just it's interesting to me. It really is. I mean, I definitely, this is definitely something that I am going to start buying shares of here. You know, I don't really care if it dips more, but I want to at least get my hands on something here on Google. Definitely, you know, I did add some of it in my M1 Finance account. So I'm definitely going to start, you know, maybe dollar cost averaging into Google. I think any dip we get further, I think is a good opportunity. I just know that the fundamentals of this stock are so fantastic. So any kind of short-term downside that I see that's, you know, due to, market downside, I want to try to take advantage of. Now, I know some of you guys will disagree with that, but I think long-term this is a good opportunity. So I'm definitely keeping an eye on Google. 2600 looks interesting. You know, this 2670 area on the weekly chart here. On the daily chart, we can see this is a pretty key level on Google. Right here, previous support. You have this little inverse head and shoulders, which, God, if that works out, it would be fantastic, which I don't really think it will, but, I mean, you could see it, right? You have a left shoulder right here, a head, and a right shoulder. I mean, you're going to need some really big momentum on the market to see any type of move off this. But, I mean, inverse head and shoulder, if that works out, that could be pretty, that would be pretty. But you know, I'm not really counting on that right now with this market. So just watching this 2670 area, guys, and then we'll watch the lows here around 2500. And if it continues to break down, I'll just continue to dollar cost into this thing. That's my opinion. But I would definitely keep an eye on Google, guys. At least you are getting somewhat of an interesting opportunity on this if it continues to drop. So, not saying go out and buy it. I know it's an expensive stock. I know there's a split coming. For anyone that's not aware, it doesn't really make any sense to wait for a split. It's the same exact thing. If I buy a share now, I get 20 shares later. If I waited, you know, I could potentially be paying a higher price for it and still get the same amount of shares. So it really doesn't matter to wait for a split. You know, especially when you're looking in the long term. So that's Google. I would watch this 2670 area and then this 2500. If we start to get more downside, keep an eye on this thing. That's just my honest opinion. I think there will be opportunity for a long-term idea, long-term investment. Tesla. So this was a very bad breakdown on Tesla, guys. This was pretty. It's a very ugly bear flag, if I have to say. So if I go to the 4 hour, I think we might be able to see this a little bit better. You can see that this is sort of like a bear flag here that was sort of forming right around this area. You can see that, and that breakdown on Friday just sort of, you know, did it in my opinion. That's a very big breakdown of a very key level around 880, and let me just get that 880 level out of there for a second. Very key level at 880. Not good that we really topped here at 945. That was a very massive resistance level that could just not break. I mean, every time we saw Tesla into that level, it was just nastiness. So really big top there at 950 area on Tesla. Dropped through this little uptrend, this little flag, bear flag, boom, breakdown. And I think the next level has to be this 800, guys. I really do. I mean, I'm someone that doesn't like to just guess where a stock bounces when it's not at a technical support level. So, you know, you could say that maybe it's sitting at this previous, you know, sort of this previous area here. It's sort of sitting here right around this 850. So that could be an area that holds maybe around 850. But I'm thinking that this needs to come down to 800. I think it has to at least test it. And maybe see if it can, you know, bounce off that 800. So that's my assumption, guys. We saw a very weak move here over the last few days. You guys can see we started to, you know, tried to uptrend here, tried to make a little bit of a breakout move, and we failed it. We could not break over 950. We got that big downside move on Friday. You're getting a little bit of a sympathy bounce right now. I don't really trust where it's at. You know, because I don't see structure here. If it was bouncing here, if we dropped to 800 this morning, guys, and we were bouncing off 800, that would give me some more confidence, right? Because then I know, hey, there's a lot of support down below. I can maybe make a play off this. But if we're getting a random bounce here at 850, I'm not so sure I trust it. I would rather be looking for this 800 area. Just my personal opinion. You may not agree, but that's okay. 800, you guys can see all here. Big bounce here. That's what I want to see it come back down to. So I will be watching for Tesla 800 here within the next few weeks, I would assume. So that's something I'm watching, guys. Tesla 800. We'll see what happens if that comes back down. Apple. So you guys know I'm a big Apple advocate, and rightfully so. I mean, it's just a fantastic stock that continues to hold up. Pretty, decent downside last week, but nothing that's like sort of, killing this move in my opinion. I think this maybe just chops around for a few weeks. It sort of seems like that's what's happening. Still a very nice uptrend, right? I mean, the thing I love about Apple is when you zoom out, you can always sort of spot that uptrend. In a stock that's, a stock like, let's think, a stock that's like PayPal, for example, guys. Like, this is a downtrending stock. But when you look at a stock like Apple, you can always see Apple continuing to hold this uptrend over a very long time. And there's going to be times of volatility, times of chop. But I definitely am watching Apple here around this 168. This is a very, very big level. You can see support, maybe resistance today, guys. So maybe watch out for that resistance to come in today on Apple. We did sort of get stopped at this 177 area, which is sort of textbook in my assumption. You can see previous resistance, and then resistance again. I didn't really expect us to get through that level last week. This is a very tough area up here on Apple. It's about, I think it was about 4% off the highs. Yeah, about 3.5%. So I think a rightfully so pullback. Watch this 168, guys, today. This could be a little bit of rejection, and we may see us sort of trade in this range again. This is that same January range, right? Right in between 156 and 168. So, yeah, I mean, you can see the inverse head and shoulders here as well, right? I mean, it's everywhere. But do you trust it? I don't know, guys. You just got to be careful in this market. Technicals can be proved, there's when the market's choppy, right? Market's questionable, a lot of fear, a lot of question, a lot of indecision in the market. Technicals don't hold up as well in that environment, right? Because what are technicals? You got to think about what technical analysis is off of, back to the roots of technical analysis. Technical analysis is people's psychologies, right? It's psychology of the market because people see, they see a flag pattern, they know that's bullish, and then buyers step in. Like, that's people's making decisions off of a technical analysis, an idea of what they're seeing, right? So technical analysis is psychology. Now, when you have a market that's questionable, that's not fully confident, when people start questioning technical analysis, like I am, I'm questioning, do I really trust this Apple inverse head and shoulder? If that starts coming into the market, it's less likely for it to work out. So just be aware of that, right? Technicals have not held up as well because of the indecision in the market, and that just comes down to the people that are participating. So just understand that, right? Maybe you take a little bit of discount on what technicals you trust in this market, just to save yourself some money, right? Just to save yourself some money, save yourself a little bit of maybe downside. Algorithms are based off of exactly. But who sets up the algos, right? Algos is because people think that that's a formation that they like to see, right? It comes down to human behavior. So just be careful of that, right? So Apple, 168, watch that today, guys. Big level on Apple. Very well could be a downside resistance level. Very, very well could be that downside resistance. I think it will be tough to see Apple through that level today. Support, resistance. Just be careful there. All right. Boeing. Fed meeting today is at 11:30. It's not going to be announced today in my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a closed door meeting. Bullard is hawking on CNBC. Yeah, I'm sure he is. He's probably going to have some... This is what I'm talking about, guys. So there's going to be always these reactions to what's going on the TV and what's popping out on the news. So see what happens right now on the Nasdaq, guys. Bullard is on CNBC. And I'm sure he's hawking it up. So just watch that. Be careful of that. Let me know if there's any big reactions. And I mean big reactions, not 0.5%. I'm talking like 1% downside. So here's Boeing, guys, and are we starting to see the exact same thing that we've seen every other time? I really hope not, but it looks like it's very possible. What's he saying? So it is very possible that this is starting to do the exact same thing. So I'm definitely going to be careful here, guys. You can see Boeing, it definitely started to stall. You got the downside on Friday, but I mean that's sort of expected. That's Friday downside. That's overall market. You wouldn't expect Boeing to go up in that environment, right? You're not going to expect Boeing to go up when the market looked like it did on Friday. So this could be, it could be the start to that rejection. Very, very, we've definitely seen it before. You can see it here, right? We've definitely seen the rejection start to come in before up in these levels. I would discount Friday a little bit because it is definitely an overall market sentiment move to the downside. So that could be a reason why Boeing moved down, and maybe it still wants to move higher. Just be careful here, guys. This is not an area that I would buy Boeing. The only place that I would have bought Boeing is if you caught these lows and you were saying, hey, Boeing's back at the bottom of this channel. I want to take a shot on this here. If I look at the technicals, it has bounced every other time. It has come towards this downtrend. And hey, I think this is a shot that I want to take. Now, if you missed that opportunity, if you did not sort of play this move, I wouldn't recommend people to jump in here looking for the uptrend breakout. I just don't think that is a very high risk to reward play, guys. I think you'd rather save your money. I don't think that is a play that you really want to get yourself into. If you were, sometimes you have to accept that you missed the move. And I definitely missed. I accept it myself. The only place I'd be comfortable in Boeing, guys, is when we get down to this downtrend. Those are the places I'd be looking for upside. Up here, I get a little bit questionable. Up here, every time you start to spike on Boeing, if I just look at the past, it's not usually a very good upside entry. So keep an eye on Boeing. If maybe you want to do this, maybe on the flip side, guys, you want to take that exact same concept and look for puts, right? Maybe you say, hey, I see Boeing from the last few years, every time it pushes higher, it ends up rejecting. And hey, maybe it's time for me to go ahead and get into some put options here. But just have your stops. Make sure you know that this is based off technicals, so it could go either way. But if we look at this trend, I think we know the overall tendency of what to expect. So if I was to get in puts here, I would just have my stop over these highs. If it gets over those highs, you definitely want to be out of it. But yeah, very interesting, guys. Boeing back at the top of that trend. We'll see what happens again. Does it just continue to do the same thing it's done for the last 2 years? Coinbase. So I don't know if you guys remember, but we talked about Coinbase on this upside, and what level did we talk about? Right here around this 212, 210. I did not touch this chart today, so this is the exact level that we rejected off of. Now, this is, if I had to, if I was to make like some kind of course or some kind of lesson to people out there, which I'm just going to talk to you for free here on the live stream. This chart right here, I just screenshot this chart. Get a good idea of what this chart looks like. This is textbook stuff. Bullard reiterates 100 basis point tightening July 1st. So is that moving the market higher actually? So I think we need to focus on, what we need to focus on are the dates, guys. We need to focus on the dates that they talk about more than anything. Because I believe the market dropped on Friday because they were talking about an interest rate hike as soon as March. Right? I think there was like headlines about, as soon as March or as soon as this week. Right? I think that's a very key thing that we want to keep an eye out for on this Nasdaq. What dates do they say? Right? When? When is the dates that they're talking about? Make sure we focus on that. So right now, what's the date? July 1st? Before July 1st? Yeah. I also want to reiterate to people out there, guys, and I know some of you guys may be new to the market, but if you've been investing in this market for a while, guys, you definitely know like it's pretty common to see the Fed come out and hike rates by a few basis points. I think that's something that a lot of people are haven't been experienced if you're like new to the market this year or something. Back when I was like 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old, I was watching, almost, every few months, hey, Fed increases rate by 0.5, 0.25 basis points. That's pretty normal. The market didn't really react to it. Actually, sometimes the market would go up off of it. So it's a very interesting market we're in because, maybe just about 10 years ago, interest rates were, extremely high and basis point increases were pretty normal and very understanding. But we are just not in that. We are just not in that market anymore. We're just not in that mindset. The American the normal investor now is panicked by any type of interest rates, which is just it's not really real. It's not reality to be panicked by any type of interest rate in the U.S. economy. It's not really reality. We need interest rates. So as much as you're worried about like the short-term downside because of panic over interest rates, guys, I can guarantee you guys interest rates are not a bad thing for the economy. An economy cannot function off 0% interest rates. That is not a normal thing. Right? Yeah, I was definitely watching the market at 18. I definitely was. So I mean, if the market goes up, if we move up 0.5 basis points, that used to be a normal thing, but unfortunately, it's just that's not sort of how it is anymore. Oh well, as interest rate increase, inflation decreases, and the value of everything. Yeah, I mean, it's just we're the problem. So here this. Yeah, I mean, I don't expect the markets to just go up, Cristiano. I think you definitely could get some downside off this, but I just, I want to make sure I think any downside that comes off of interest rate increases is not a long-lasting, like a market killings type downside. It's just sort of pricing in, which is definitely something that I think is a opportunity. So. We'll see what happens, guys, but I just want to make sure that people that, maybe you're new to the market, I just want to make sure you guys, take into consideration, hey, interest rates are not a bad thing. That's really all I want to get across. Interest rates are not a bad thing for the market. It's not a bad thing for the economy. That's actually something that we need to get back to. And I think, I understand why people want to get back to it sooner than later, because if we can just get back to the normal interest rates, then, the economy can start functioning off that, start pricing in that type of market type of environment, like 2%, 1.5%. That's normal stuff. That's normal stuff, right? 0% interest rates is not. It's just not good stuff, in my opinion. It's synthetic. It's not real. So Coinbase, you guys can see back to the charts. Coinbase, support. We got that push higher. This is just a classic rejection, guys. And back to what I was saying. Screenshot this chart. Make sure you look at this chart. This is classic break and retest. This is classic supply and demand. This is classic price action for you, right? Previous support turns into resistance. That is classic stuff. I mean, this happens everywhere. And if you can catch these plays, you can make a lot of money because they're very high probability, right? Look at that. Look at that and look at that. It's just perfect. So that was really nice on Coinbase. I would continue to look for downside if it does not break above this 212 area. It's not gonna be a very easy time to get above 212 unless Bitcoin goes on some type of bender, which I just don't see happening right now. LMT, Lockheed Martin. Now, reason I'm showing you guys this is because if we go to the 5-minute chart, I'm going to show you exactly what it did on Friday when this Ukrainian news came out. Right? This is Friday's price action. And you can see this was beginning of the day right here. And this was end of day. Now, in between that day, look at what we got here. Around 1:30. Boom. Big upside. This was when the market was falling. Now, why did this happen? I'm sure a lot of you guys are already aware, but for anyone that's watching that's not aware, just want to make sure you guys know what's going on. Big news for the Ukrainian conflict, right? Ukrainian-Russian conflict. And anytime you have like a war type event, you get defensive names like Lockheed Martin that push higher. So definitely worth watching this today, guys. Do we get more upside on this move? Do we get more upside on Lockheed Martin? My assumption is that if you see any news that comes out, guys, over the next week, if there's any news that hints towards higher, higher conflict, more high probabilities of invasion or whatever is going on over there, this stock's going to go up. It's just going to be a reactionary move. It's going to be a reactionary move. You can probably catch it if you are quick. But this is a reactionary move, right? We got about a 2.5% move off nothing but reaction to news. So that's something you can maybe watch. I'm not saying it's going to continue. It's not guaranteed. I would assume that's a very tough resistance level. But if there's some kind of news that there is conflict, maybe it gets something going. But yeah, good call. That is a very tough level at 400. So be careful of that. But I just wanted to bring it up, guys. Make sure you're aware. That's what happened. Keep an eye on it. Okay, Pepsi. This is a very interesting level. And this is why I want to bring it up, because I think this looks pretty interesting here at this 168. You guys can see we've sort of triple bottomed here around 148 on Pepsi, or 168, I'm sorry. Level I'm definitely watching. Before I get into any play on this, I just want to see overall how it performs. It's part of the XLP, which has outperformed lately, guys. The XLP is consumer staples. So if I go to the daily chart, you can see this XLP has definitely outperformed, has been continuing to push new highs. A little bit of slowdown over the last few weeks. Definitely a little bit of slowdown. But Pepsi has just been a really nice performer. A stock I definitely want to watch here around this 168. I'm not, 100% confident on what happens next, but I just wanted to show you guys this setup. I think this is at least a setup to maybe just put on your watch list. Maybe it holds here at this 168. Maybe we can get a push off that 168, little triple bottom. If I can find the triple bottom on this market, guys, it's definitely something I will monitor, right? So there's a triple bottom on Pepsi. Want to monitor that. Just wanted to share it with you guys today. Keep an eye on that one. Okay, last but not least for me, Micron, MU. I like this and I don't like this chart. There's some things that I do like, and the thing that I do like is the overperformance. I definitely like the overperformance, right? Micron is just about, it's just about 5%. Was that 90? Yeah, just about 5-6% off the highs right now. I definitely don't expect it to get through these highs. I think that's a little bit of a stretch, especially in this market. Unless we do get a very nice move to the upside. If we do, this would be the stock I'd be watching, because I think it will outperform in a strong market. So if we do get any type of strong market, Micron would be something I would watch, because it's definitely been outperforming in general almost throughout the almost all throughout last year, and even into this year. I mean, it barely dropped last year, and even into this year. This is the weekly chart. Let me go to the daily for you. So here's the daily. Let me get a little bit more time on the daily. Here we go. So this is the daily chart. You can see, it is a little bit of a sign of like a head and shoulder type formation, which is a little bit concerning. Maybe the move has already been done, but we definitely got a big push. I definitely want to see what happens here around 87. Do we hold this area, and can we get back into this 80 or 97? So Micron, definitely a semi that I would definitely watch here, guys. Has been very strong in the last few months, and definitely something that if the market can hold, then we definitely will outperform on this one. So keep an eye on this. Watch this 87. This could be a head and shoulder formation starting to form. So just be aware of that. Left shoulder, right shoulder, head. Very possible. But it is holding. That's the key, guys. It is holding very nicely. It is holding very nicely. Some really big volume came into it last week. A stock that I would watch, and it's is up this morning as well. All right. So that's what I have, but we have a lot of tickers that the members want to look at. So we're about to do that. We have Affirm, mRNA, Roblox, SLB, CCS, Rivian, Target, MOS, P&G. We're going to look at all those. But first, before we do, if you guys could be so kind and just press the like button. We have 1,100 people in here and 200 likes. That's a very bad ratio. So if you could take a second, help that ratio out, that would be fantastic. Press the like button, subscribe if you're new here. Let's go through this. We got to go quick. We got to go real quick. So let's quickly do it. Let's not waste any time. All right, Affirm, guys. A stock I would be very, very far away from. Not a stock I would touch. It's below all-time lows by some pretty aggressive amount. I would look for downside and only downside here. I would not look for upside. I know it's probably going to bounce at some time, but it's not even something I'm interested in. Maybe you can play the downside. At this point, guys, put options are going to have crazy high IV. So be careful playing these high IV trades. Maybe you short sell it with shares. I think that would be something I'd be more comfortable seeing you guys do if you short sell it. But of course, you need to understand the risks of short selling. So please don't do that if you don't understand the risk. This is a dangerous stock, right? This is danger. This is where people lose or make a lot of money. It's a dangerous name. It's been a lot of sort of manipulation, volatility, because if you got stuck in, I saw people get stuck in this move here on Friday, or was this on Thursday? Whatever day this was, people got stuck in this move. A lot of people, and I saw a lot of people online lose a lot of money. So this is just a dangerous stock to be messing around with right now. I don't know what's going to come out news-wise. I don't know what they're going to leak next. Are they going to leak their next quarter earnings somehow? Are they going to, I don't know what they're going to do. So just be careful here. It is below all-time lows, so maybe that's just an easy downside play. Maybe it's very easy in hindsight tonight, when we look at this. But that's what I would look for. Just look for it to drop, stay below all-time lows. Previous all-time lows was 46.50. 46.50 was previous all-time lows. All right, mRNA. mRNA is double bottoming off this little level here. It's something that I am interested in and watching. So we can see this is a pretty big level on mRNA right here around 144. You guys can see that this is support, and then you can see a little double bottom here around 144. Double bottom. So, is this a stock I would watch? Yes. If this breaks below this double bottom, absolutely I would be watching this. If this drops below around 144, you have the check mark for downside. That's where I would look for downside. If you break below this 144, you are going to get downside. So that's what I would watch. Watch for this right here. This little flag, bear flag, breakdown. That's what I would look for right there. So 144 mRNA. Roblox. I was looking for this thing to hold 70. It did not. I had a swing trade on, and I got out of it for a $120 loss because it broke back below 70. You guys probably saw that video on Instagram. But you can see, look at this little head and shoulders here. Anything above 70 looks very tough. Like, I don't trust anything here above 70 on Roblox. Look at this area. This looks like rejection zone. Right there. I don't know why I just got that song stuck in my head. Electric Avenue. I think it was on yesterday on the commercials. So just watch out for this 70 to 72 area, guys, on Roblox. This looks very nasty. I would be very careful trading into this. Could very easily maybe hold this uptrend, but could also very easily turn into a very nasty bear flag. All right, so just watch out for 70. I think if you trade it here, you don't have much risk to reward, and that's something that I learned the hard way on I think it was Friday or Thursday. SLB, I've seen this stock before, but I don't know much about it. It looks like I have a level here at 41. Not sure why. I need to go back. More. Okay, that's why I have a level here. So you can see, look, we pushed into this 41. We pushed into this 41. So be careful here, right? You got to be careful here. Previous resistance. Does it turn into resistance again? The only way I would trust this here is if you get a push above and a push back lower and a support hold. You need this 41 to turn into support. That's the only way I trust that. CCS, Century Communities. Not sure what this company is, but 60, it needs to hold. That's very obvious, right? Support, and support. That has to hold there. That has to hold. That does not hold, it's going down. Century Communities. What does this company do? Is it like home building? Must be. So just watch that 60. Rivian. Yeah, I saw Rivian popped up this morning. Who bought a bunch of stock of it? Did someone? I think I saw that. Yeah, billionaire George Soros reveals stake in Rivian. Okay, so he got into a bunch. It looks like it popped off that news and is starting to come back down. Guys, I can't really help you on a stock like this. I'm sorry. Look at this chart. The only reason you buy Rivian here is if you believe in it. That's it. That's the only reason you buy it. You either believe in the company long term and you're trying to get a deal. This is not really a stock that I would do any analysis on. It's just an IPO that's falling in a bad market that's not really, comfortable with the risk like this on a stock that's not making any money. So if you buy Rivian here, you have to be a believer in the stock. That's it. Target. This is not a good breakdown on Target. I got to be honest, guys. This is not a good breakdown on Target. This does not look good to me here. Maybe it holds this bottom here at 310 or 210. Yeah, huge level. I see what you wrote in the Google Docs. Massive level at 210. Massive. So that has to hold. If that does not hold, you are coming down to at least 194. That would be your next level. 194. That has to hold there at 210. So just watch that 210. What you need to see is some type of break of this downtrend. That's it. Don't buy upside until you see confirmation. You got to see something like this, man. You got to wait for something like this. You got to wait for that uptrend to form. Get it out of the downtrend. Wait for the uptrend, right? This is where you buy. That's where you buy. You don't buy here and guess, right? You don't buy here and guess. You wait for the confirmation of uptrend. So wait for that. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You just saved yourself money. MOS. Wow. What is this? Is this oil? No. Yes, no. What is this stock? Sorry, guys. I don't really, go around and research like all these random names. I'm more of a, I stick to what I know type of guy. What is Mosaic? Mosaic. Jesus, that's bad. Mosaic. I'm making myself look like an idiot out here on this stream. What is Mosaic? What do they do? I'm just gonna wait for someone in the chat because I can't figure it out. Fertilizer? I'm wasting time. Fertilizer, really. It's out of Tampa. Mines phosphate and potash. Huh. Okay. You can't blame me for not knowing what this company does. That's not something you can blame me for. I'm sorry. Okay, so we got a fertilizer stock here. Maybe Ukraine is a big exporter of potash. Really? Maybe they're making what with that fertilizer. I'm not going to say it on because I'll probably get FBI will probably show up at my door. So not sure why this is pushing higher, but you can see this is a very nice trend. That's a pretty nice trend, I will say. Where do you buy this stock? You buy it on a pullback. You buy it on the retest. That's where you buy these stocks. So I would look for this retest. If you do get it, that's where I would look. That's where I would look, right? On the retest. Don't chase it. Don't chase it here. Wait for the retest because it retests every time, right? It'll retest. You got to wait for that retest. So MOS, not too sure, why that's moving higher. I would definitely look into what's the catalyst behind it before investing into it. Not sure why it's moving higher. Procter and Gamble. This Procter and Gamble looks like it's getting stuck up here, guys. Look at these weekly candles. Look at these weekly candles. These are tough weekly candles. Look at that. Oof. Really tough weekly candles, guys. Look at those rejections. So I would look for at least like the 20 SMA here, or maybe these previous highs. Maybe this previous highs. Right here. I would look for those previous highs to pull back. Maybe 146. But yeah, I don't know if buying up here is a good risk to reward. It looks like it's definitely starting to stall up here. If I go to the daily chart, maybe, just maybe you get this little hold here. That would be the hold I'd watch. If it does not hold here at 155, then I think it's going to move lower to at least this 146. You can see that this is sort of what we're talking about, right? That big gap in price action. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed today's stream, if you guys could be so kind to press the like button, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be great. If you enjoyed the stream, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for sticking with me. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let's see what happens today, guys. It's Monday. Let's be careful today. Let's get out of today unharmed. Let's get a feel for what this market's going to give us. Let's get an idea of what's going on today. It's Monday. Get some, gather some data, gather some analysis on the market. That's what I like to do. It's hard to come into today and just know exactly what's going to happen. That's near impossible. So give yourself, some time. You don't expect yourself to know at 9:30 exactly where the market's going to move. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. Get an idea. Hopefully this helps today. And let's come back tomorrow, Tuesday, after we get a little bit of an idea of what happens today. We'll come back on, tomorrow and then get a better look at this. So thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, press the like button, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.